Okay, so this is skill number 2, the vocab part of this. So if you notice, there's like about 8 vocab words you need to know for this unit. This unit is really vocab heavy. If you cannot understand the vocab, you will not be successful in this unit. So we'll start off small. Parallel lines, you've probably heard of parallel before. Those are 2 lines that never cross. So a way we're going to do this is we're going to kind of do a picture and a way to remember it. So parallel lines kind of look like this. They never intersect. So maybe they never intersect is a way to remember it. A transversal is a line that crosses 2 or more other lines. So for example, if I were to draw some parallel lines here, the line that crosses both of them, this would be the transversal. And you're going to see this picture a lot in this unit. Another way to mark parallel is with arrows. So this would be parallel to this. That's how we kind of know, hey, those 2 lines are parallel. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are 2 angles in the same location on 2 different parallel lines cut by a transversal. So in this picture of 2 parallel lines cut by transversal, so these would be my parallel lines here and this would be my transversal. It's the angle that's in the same position. So if you notice, if I slid this line down, this angle would land on top of this angle. So those angles are congruent. And these are in the same position. You might hear me say that a lot throughout this unit. So congruent or the same position. Okay. Alternate interior angles are the angles on opposite sides of the transversal inside the parallel line. So interior is inside. So a picture that might represent this is our parallel lines cut by a transversal, and it's alternate inside the parallel line. So alternate and inside. So alternate and inside. So they're the opposite inside of the 2 parallel lines here. So those are alternate interior angles. Complementary. You might have heard this before, but complementary is 2 angles that sum up to be 90 degrees. So if I have a right angle here, we all know right angles are 90 degrees. Angle A and B would be complementary because if you add them up, they should equal 90 degrees. A way that I always remembered this in middle school was in the word complementary. I can change the C into a 9 by doing that. That's how I always remember it. Complementary, I could change the C in the beginning to 9. So that is complementary. Supplementary is 2 angles that sum to be 180 degrees. So that's 180 degrees is a straight line. So let's see. A and B there would be supplementary because it sums up to 180 degrees. If we were to add those, it would add up to a straight line, which is 180 degrees there. And so to remember this one, in the word supplementary, I would think I could change this S into an 8. So that's how I remembered that that meant 180 degrees and how that one meant 90 degrees. So that's just a little trick you might want to use, you might find helpful. If I flip the page here, I'm going to go to vertical angles. So opposite angles are formed when 2 lines, when 2 lines intersect that share a vertex, they are across from each other. So there's 2 pictures I'm going to draw for this one. One of them looks like this. It's just 2 lines that intersect. And the vertical angles are just the ones across from each other. So those are vertical angles. And in our picture of parallel lines cut by transversals, that would be an example of vertical lines because they're opposite each other. They're right across from each other. So I just think across or opposite. So that might help you. Cross only has one C. Might help you remember that. Alternate exterior. It's like alternate interior. It's on the opposite side, but it's actually on the outside of the parallel lines. So if I draw my famous picture here, you're going to see this picture throughout the whole unit. Alternate exterior angles would be these angles right here, because they're on the outside of the parallel lines, but they're also opposite. So it's on this, one of them's on this side of the transversal and the other one's on this side of the transversal. So outside and opposite would be how you might remember these. And that is all of our vocab words for this unit. You can practice this skill in Quizlet. On Quizlet, I made a bunch of flashcards for you. It's in Schoology under Skill 2. There's a bunch of flashcards you can try. And also skill number 3 is kind of related to skill number 2, so practice in there might also help you with practice in skill number 2. So go ahead and practice this. Thanks for watching.